Don, can you give us an insight as to what's happening for you right now, where you are in the industry?
Yeah, so I think most people know Guardian Jet is a brokerage house. We buy and sell airplanes on behalf of our customers, and but we also have a consulting business that does a lot of fleet planning, measuring, data analysis. I will say the brokerage business, March will still be a pretty good month for us, but of course, most of the deals started pre-COVID or pre-real, were pre-pandemic. And I would categorize them as, it's maybe more expensive to get out than to keep going on the deal. We'd already seen a softening in prices prior to COVID. So, some of the pricing's pretty good anyways. But we're having a pretty good March. About 30% of the business slipped out of the month as from where we started, what I thought we'd get in the beginning. That's never zero. So normally 10 to 15 to 20% slip out into the next month or evaporate. We're seeing a higher rate of that. I think we'll see a higher rate of that in April. April won't be a super strong month for us, but there'll still be closings in April. We are still selling airplanes. We have buyers that are, opportunistic buyers maybe right now that are still looking at deals. But we have a lot of people just sitting on the sidelines, as you'd expect. In this kind of crisis, there's just a lot of sitting on the sidelines. So we expect that to continue for a little bit, but we're lucky we haven't had to lay anybody off yet. We have made some cuts. We've cut a lot of overhead during this period, but for us, it's business as usual. We have a skeleton crew in the office and everybody else working from home. We haven't been locked down here in Connecticut. We don't have a stay-at-home order, but so there's a few of us in the office, but most people are at home. So I think we're behaving the way a lot of companies are. We don't want to. We're certainly not throwing in the towel, Liz.
No, good.
I categorize this as live to fight another day, but we're doing business. So consulting business is. I've called all our customers and said, "Hey, if you got consulting, if you have anything you're thinking about, I'm not even worried about getting paid for it. I'm more, hey, I got people here that have capacity that normally don't. Our consulting team is usually just full on, and right now we could, but that's one of the changes that we're experiencing."
It's interesting. When I spoke with Steve Bassano in London and in Europe, obviously, and then headquartered there, and I spoke to Jeff Lowe, who's over there in Hong Kong, one of the things they described was challenging in terms of the deals was not being able physically to get out and inspect aircraft, because of airports closing. Have you experienced that in the US, or it's the freedom of movement has been an impact elsewhere in the world?
So I'll answer that a couple different ways, Liz. And no, we haven't experienced that. Now, we're still having the service centers are, for the most part, all open and doing business. There's very strict rules about who can come in and out of a service center. So we're doing the in-dock meetings by phone. But airports are still open. I had a mission I had to accomplish. I flew our TBM. My brother and I on Saturday went to look at an airplane at a Falcon at the facility in Wilmington, and there were very strict protocols of not seeing other people and what we could do and not couldn't do. So, right now in the U.S., there's quite a bit of freedom. As for controlling the pandemic, I'm not sure that's the best answer, but there is quite a bit of freedom still, and the service centers are still open, which we hope they stay open. Right from the beginning, my biggest fear was that the service centers would shut down. and then that would create a problem. I will say that in the second part of that answer, it's sort of playing into what I think is a trend in our business, or will be a trend. It's not yet. But one of the things when you put an airplane into pre-buy today, is the service centers have taken a much more hands-off approach to calling things squawks or identifying things as airworthy issues. So a pre-buy now isn't necessarily an inspection. It's a look at the airplane, but they don't have to write up the squawks the same way that they used to. So there's a little more of a knife fight after a pre-buy than there used to be, to say, hey, what's really airworthy and what's not. And I don't blame the service centers. It's, they're still doing great work for us, but I hope there's a trend for buying better airplanes with better pedigree with less inspection. So we've sort of thought about that long term. Is that where we're headed? And this might be an example of getting there a little quicker, because we've got some airplanes for sale that are operated by some of the best flight departments in the world that are coming out of fairly current inspections, so that the need for a premium arcs in a Gulfstream facility may not be as, you may not need it as much in that airplane, and so we're kind of looking at that as maybe the new normal, at least the new normal during the crisis. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I think all over, on lots and lots of levels, we're all going to have to step up, rise up. So if that's in a better quality aircraft, it's the way we're treating and maintaining things. It totally makes sense. What are you seeing now? It's very hard, as I said to you earlier, not going to ask you to predict anything for what's coming. For you in your team, how are you approaching this? Because it's kind of it's a time that none of us have ever imagined or experienced before. How are you keeping morale up?
Well, we're lucky. Morale's pretty good. The people in the office, it's pretty easy. We're really busy. I mean, we're just busy doing things that we maybe weren't doing before. Keeping deals together is a little more difficult right now. We're doing a lot of proactive stuff for the future. We have a technical library we're building out. We have we keep redefining our business. So, we always have projects that we can get to right now. Having said that, there's still activity out there, and we got to make sure we capture all of it. I'm looking at the crisis as almost a step out of time. So in the beginning of the year, to give you a great example, we told our customers that our long-term customers, what we call asset management customers, that we have years-long agreements with them, that this was a good year to buy new aircraft. This is a good year to buy aircraft. Prices had softened, inventories had increased a little bit. So if you're thinking about replacing your airplane, we started saying this back in the fall, that this is going to be a very good time to do that. So take COVID out of it, that's still true. It's still a good year. Now, COVID may accelerate that a little bit, and it may, but I don't think the premise that it's still a good time. So just remove 4 months from the calendar, and I think we're back to that situation. Now, what we can't judge is how a prolonged recession or what the economic things coming out of the realities, the economic realities coming out of this will be. But I think you're going to go back to more flying. And to me, the purest metric that I ever look at is flying hours. And of course, those are way down right now. But what will they look like in July and August? I don't know. If they're back, transactions are back.